Hey everybody, I'm here with Stacy Klein running for the 32nd Senate District here in Wisconsin. We're going to ask her a few questions and she was gracious enough to come to the chamber office today and shoot this video. So first off, tell us about yourself and why you're running for state senate.
Sure. Well, thanks so much for having me. So I grew up in Trumbull County, just south of Arcadia. I grew up on a dairy farm. So I graduated high school from there, and then I graduated from Carthage College in Kenosha. So I spent a few years in the Milwaukee area, but realized the urban life wasn't for me. So came back over 11 years ago. I live in the Trumbull area. So I work in finance, and then my husband works on the lock and dam there, and I have a daughter that just turned 11, so she keeps us busy as well. I also serve on the Trumbull County Board. And then my husband was on our town board until he moved. And I've been on a couple committees for our school district too.
Okay. So tell us about the district you're running to represent. The 32nd Senate District is fairly large.
Yes, I guess relatively speaking, compared to which ones you talked to around the state. So it encompasses all of La Crosse County. Now it has 5 municipalities in Trumbull County, which I know that's been a little confusing for everyone. The line actually goes right through my county board district. So some of my constituents are in the 10th Senate District, and then some are in the 32nd. And then it also has about a third of Monroe County and Vernon County.
Okay. So what do you think is the biggest issue facing the La Crosse area and our business community right now?
Well, I think those issues are going to be consistent across the state. The costs, it's difficult for someone to start a business because of the startup costs. Also, what we're seeing as far as the rising costs and how do business owners navigate passing that on to their consumers. I think that also translates into, I guess, compounding our workforce labor shortage. We're already hurting for people to be working in these businesses. That goes into childcare, just all these other areas where we need to take a look at how we can foster a better environment so that we can get people back to work and get them to jobs that they want to do and that are paying enough for them to really live.
It kind of takes me to my next question. So the cost of healthcare, housing, and childcare are some of the largest issues facing our local employees and employers. How would you help decrease these everyday costs?
So one major area that we can look at is the multi-billion-dollar surplus at the state. There's $3 billion sitting there. There has been legislation to give tax breaks, to middle, lower income families, seniors for retirement income. Those are all bills that unfortunately our current senator voted against. So if we can look for ways that we can come together, maybe the bills aren't going to be perfect, but ultimately it's going to be better for our district. We need to find a way to get that money back out to the taxpayers.
Sure. So my last question is, in an increasingly polarized political climate, voters are concerned about the lack of civility and collaboration among elected officials. How would you work to foster a culture of respect and constructive dialogue within the state capitol? And how would you engage with constituents who hold opposing views to ensure their voices are heard?
So I think that's something that, in order to execute, it has to be all day, every day. I've always been a natural mediator, so even when I'm on doors and I come across someone who, we have very different opinions, I always search for that common ground because I know that's there somewhere. So I think as a legislature, right now I'm in nonpartisan government. So that's really, I just love being there because you can walk into that room without that partisan lens right away. So we need more legislators like that to go to the state level, really focus in, like I talked about earlier, what's best for the district. So building those relationships, again, looking for where we have the common ground, building from there, and doing that on a continual basis. And we're going to have those times with those contentious issues where we're going to see the Democrat versus Republican or urban versus rural, and we really need to start setting that aside and look at what overall is best for Wisconsin. Also, as a legislature, one thing that I would really focus on is having less listening sessions. So when you're elected, of course, they entrust you to make those decisions on their behalf. But I want to make sure that, there's going to be areas where I'm going to have to set aside my personal beliefs or convictions or opinion to look at what does the district want as a whole. And again, coming together, understanding each other, maybe not changing opinions, but finding where we meet and build from there.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for coming to the La Crosse Chamber today and answering some of these questions for our members. I'll pass the floor over to you if you have any final statements you want to make.
Sure. Well, I really appreciate the opportunity to do this. So I already mentioned that I'm a natural mediator and I work in local government. I am very focused on getting more money back for the local governments. We have it's between 65 and 70 municipalities in the district, and I've been trying to get out to a local board meeting for each of those. We've been to almost, I wouldn't say all of them, but we're getting close to that. So focusing in on roads, broadband, I'd like to see more done for mental health. There's also a number of unfunded mandates. So the state mandates something, the counties, the locals have to absorb that cost. So we need to do a better job at the state level to make sure that's funded. So those are some of the areas that I would really be focused on, and I would just love the opportunity to earn the vote of the district.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for coming, Stacy.
Thank you.